Good evening, everybody. It's your favorite aspiring revolutionary here, a wandering author, reminding you that we are all the authors of our own lives. As always, my message remains the same: spend less, live more, on your freedom with frugality. Today we are sitting in front of Split Rock River in Minnesota. We probably stopped at a few other places. I'll upload pictures to my Instagram that were a little more scenic that we could have recorded at, but one of my goals this week was to hit 60 miles hiked for the week, and I did that. I don't actually have anything written down and prepared for y'all today, so this is going to be a little bit different style. I do have a topic I'd like to talk about, which is mindfulness, goal setting, and expectations. So I spend a ton of time walking through the woods by myself, like a lot of time doing that, which gives me plenty of time to think about different topics. And I've been an adult for 10 years, right? 28. And I think everybody has these expectations whenever they're a child about what their adulthood is going to be like. And oftentimes, reality fails to live up to those expectations. But I think part of that, our culture kind of has a lot of people have the crabs in a bucket mentality, where if they feel like their personal lives are not doing well, they really don't want to uplift and inspire others. And that's actually something that I don't understand. I've gone through some very difficult experiences in my short life as an adult, but even whenever things were really not going my way, I've always wanted to help others for some reason. And it took me a long time to realize that not everyone operates that way, which is another topic. I'm doing much better today. In fact, going out and doing all of the traveling and trying to make content and figure out who I am, this identity verification quest that I've been on, has really helped me realize that I really had a hard time setting boundaries as particularly as a young man, like when I was college age 18 to 22. I guess I just really wanted to fit in, and so I just kind of accepted and tolerated any treatment from people that were willing to be around me, right? Another part of that is this right here is still true to this day, is I'm very much a pacifist. Like, there are things that are wrong in the world, but I don't want to fight with people about anything, you know? Eventually I want to talk about the dichotomy of morals, which is that so here's the easiest way to explain it. I was speaking to one of my high school buddies, the lyrical genius T. Rizzle, and I told him that evil kind of has a competitive advantage in the world, right? Because whenever wealth and power is involved, people who are willing to take that by force, or people who actively seek that, are rarely motivated by benevolent intentions. They are doing it out of self-interest, right? And people that genuinely want to help other people typically are not power-hungry individuals. There's still not a solution to that. I'm trying to be part of it, the solution, that is. But as far as what I'm doing with my own life now, what I think would be really, really cool, when I first started knocking on doors and I started to actually make decent money, my personal vision at the time, I can remember very clearly, was to create like a wellness center, right? Now, I probably don't earn enough money to build like an entire wellness center, but what I could do, while I've been traveling around the outer rim of Lake Superior, there have been like a ton of small businesses like within the state or right next to the state lands that it's like privately owned campgrounds and stuff, right? Now, let's say I bought something in Bankhead, which is where my family lives. I may not be able to buy a ton of land, but I could probably create a very rustic spiritual yoga retreat center. At the same time, I should still be able to travel periodically. Currently, I'm beginning to head south now. I've got somewhere to be in Mississippi by the end of next week. Then I'm going to spend some more time with my family at the beginning of July. I have a friend of mine who's a drummer that I hope will let me play with him, that wants me to come and visit in Nashville. And then I'd like to hit Maine before the end of before the end of August, which is typically, that's like the door knocking season, and that's how I've lived most of my adult life, was by summer season you're busy from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. I've walked 60 plus miles this week, over 10 miles today, over 30 miles in the last 3 days, and today I think I've climbed over 100 flights, which is like over 1,000 feet of elevation I've changed. Minnesota's way more mountainy than Wisconsin's pretty flat still, even though it does have the cliffside at the edge. And then by far the prettiest part of Lake Superior was Painted Rocks in Michigan. I highly recommend that anybody who has a chance to go visit that place, go visit it ASAP. Put it at the top of your list. Now, it is a 6-mile round trip walk from the trailhead to the beach, where you can check out on my Instagram, like the pictures with those emerald waters, but absolutely worth it. Yeah. So, meanwhile, while I work towards potentially opening a spiritual retreat center like that, I would have to get certified and learn how to actually teach yoga, and then I could actually, instead of playing guitar songs out in nature whenever I'm traveling, I could bring a yoga mat and I could broadcast, I could live stream yoga shows from, maybe not live stream because a lot of these places I have 0 reception, but I could do yoga classes in nature or something along those lines, and then I could partner with other people in the industry. I don't know, I could build something out of it. Whenever I very first started all this travel stuff, very insecure, very incompetent. I was pretty confident whenever I was doing really well as a door knocker, but I was still very, very young at the time, very naive. And my main thing was boundary setting personally, and then trust. Whenever you're a young kid, you don't necessarily realize how other people are treating you. And you don't really, if you don't have great role models, you may not know how to establish healthy boundaries with other people. And that can lead to a lot of emotional pain. And then anytime a human is emotional, and this is straight from Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius says stuff about this, humans just don't make good decisions when they're emotional, right? That's the whole idea of Stoicism, is to stay grounded and equanimous, so you can make rational decisions instead of just letting your emotions take control of everything. So I was supposed to talk to you guys about the Great Recession, collateralized debt obligations, and TARP funds, Toxic Asset Repurchase Program funds, where like the Federal Reserve bailed out failing investor liabilities using taxpayer money. They basically used our money to pay for them to crater our economy.